Kia ora, good afternoon. God, I'm making a lot of videos today. I was just flicking through my Instagram and this video popped up on my Instagram and I had to make a video. I really hope, and I'm praying and I'm hoping and I'm praying that King Charles can get a hold of this video, that he gets to listen, that he gets to see what's going on, because if he doesn't wake up, if he doesn't wake up quick, he's going to get taken down with everyone at the World Economic Forum and all of it. He's going to get taken down. This video, I'll put links in the description box. I'll also put links because I've been doing some research. I had to do some research. I can't find anything that this man is talking about, but this video is going viral, and he says that the British royal family is the head of the Satanic pedophile ring, and that it is the British royal family who are blackmailing the Americans and the Zionists. That the British royal family are the head of the global international Satanic pedophile ring. That they are Jews who are blackmailing other Jews, Zionists and Americans, and that they are the head of the Satanic Church, and that all pedophilia centres around the British royal family, which is exactly what I said was going to happen. I told the king that they were going to be blamed for everything. This whole Jeffrey Epstein thing with Prince Andrew, they are blaming everything on the British royal family. This man literally said the British royal family are the head of the Satanic pedophile cult, and that London's the capital of it, and that it's the British royal family blackmailing the Americans. So it's the British royal family blackmailing Donald Trump and everyone on the Epstein list and all the Zionists. It's the British royal family blackmailing them. Then they showed photos of Prince Charles when he was prince, before he was king, in Israel. I think he attended a wedding or something. He attended a funeral of a friend of his or something who's Jewish, and then he did some Holocaust memorial thing, and had some beautiful paintings done for some Holocaust survivors and stuff like that, which, I mean, of course, absolutely, you got to. And he's wearing one of those, I can't pronounce it, kippa? I thought they were called yarmulkes, but I don't know. But yeah, and he's wearing one, and they're trying to say it's because he's Jewish and Jewish this and Jewish that. Mentions the royal family being mentioned in the Bible, which they are. I've already uncovered all of that. He did a deep dive. And what he found out about the British royal family is that they're mentioned in the Old Testament, which they are, and that Queen Elizabeth I used to refer to Great Britain as Jerusalem and the Holy Land and Israel. And King James VI used to say that he was the King of Israel. But I've already deciphered that. I've already explained that, because they are the Saviour. They are from the King David bloodline. I've been able to prove that they're from the King David bloodline. They are the Anglo-Israelites, and they're the ones who, before Christianity, before the birth of Christ, it's the British royal family's bloodline that turned Jews into Christians. They're the people that basically their bloodline from the Old Testament introduced the world to Christianity, which we didn't have until the birth of Christ. And then they were Christians. And a lot of people converted to Christianity after Christ, because he he converted people because his message was clear and people liked it. Don't kill things in my name. Don't sacrifice things for my father. Just love each other and be good to each other and be kind. And live in a world of magic and alchemy, because Jesus was in a scene. He was like me. He was an alchemist. He could do these things that I can do, turning water into wine. I mean, I can't do that. But my supernatural powers are different to his. But I can't, like, he even mentioned about when the Queen and Prince Philip went to Canada and all the Native American children went missing, which I've looked into it. And some people say it's true. Some people say that it's exaggerated. Some people say that it was the government that took the kids, not the Queen and Prince Philip. This is why the Queen's getting so upset. This is why she's doing everything in her power to wake King Charles up, because her family are getting blamed for being devil worshippers, for performing satanic rituals on children in order to maintain and keep control of world power. This man in this video states it's the British royal family blackmailing the Americans and the Zionists. So it's not, even though I've been able to prove that it's the other way round, they're trying to say it's the British royal family who are blackmailing Donald Trump and the Epstein lot. They've literally flipped it. They've flipped the script to blame everything on the British royal family. This man in this video, he's American. I think I've posted some of his stuff before to say to the king, look, you need to look at this. They keep bringing up the connection to the Rothschilds. The photos they put of him with that little, what I thought was called a yarmulke, but it's Kippah, is it? He was there, like, on for work. He was there for a funeral of a friend. He was there to commemorate. I mean, who wouldn't want to go and commemorate the Holocaust? It's one of the worst events in our human history that can never, ever, 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 ever be repeated. Which, by the way, Donald Trump is rounding up Native American people and putting them in concentration camps now. I've just been looking at the news articles. I'll put them in the description box. But this is everything I said. This is everything I told the king they were going to do. He's saying, that Queen Elizabeth I used to call Great Britain Jerusalem. It's because she knew where their bloodline came from. And she knew that they had the opportunity, after Israel is completely wiped off the map. Like, everybody knows at some point Israel is going to vanish. Israel can't continue the way it's going because the government are going down a dark path that is going to be very hard for the people of Israel to recover from without having to burn the whole thing down and build it from the ground up, which is exactly what I saw happening with that dream I had where Netanyahu got shot in the head and his wife got carried away and nobody reacted, and then they all just planted olive trees. And then Israel was covered in olive trees, which means peace and rebirth and going back to the old ways, going back to tradition, going back to the way it should be when everybody lived in peace and harmony with their religions and their faith. And that's what olive trees means. And even God says in the Bible, no one's going to... Oh, look, I'll put links in the description box below. Have a look yourself. But this is everything that I said was coming. They've literally flipped the script and tried to blame the whole Epstein thing on the royal family. Not just with Andrew, they're saying that Epstein was doing what he was doing because of the royal family, for the royal family. And then the royal family were blackmailing them to do their bidding. So by that means, what just happened in Venezuela with the Bella One, with the kids being on the Bella One, they did it for the king. Keir Starmer got those kids for the king. I found an interesting link where someone was talking about what happened in Venezuela with the Bella One, and even though it's just conversation, they were saying like there's something not right about that ship. The fact it was empty, like I got a bad feeling about this, and then when you look in the comments, someone said sex trafficking, adrenochrome, the children, everything that I said. Now, obviously, that was conversation, but there's no smoke without fire. It confirms what I was investigating anyway. But by that reckoning, what this man's saying in the video, Keir Starmer was getting those children for the king. And that the king and Queen Elizabeth II were the whole reason why Jeffrey Epstein were taking those children. The whole reason why Donald Trump was able to get his hands on those kids was because of the royal family. And then the royal family blackmailing Donald Trump and Keir Starmer, all of them on the Epstein list. This man is American, and he's saying he wrote a book where he deep dives, the royal family's hidden Jewish bloodline, because they're mentioned in the Old Testament, but I've already deciphered those codes. I've already explained exactly what it is, and they're trying to flip the script on King Charles. And I told him, I can't even think straight. It's everything I said was coming. This is why the the Queen has been fighting tooth and nail to come through to those algorithms. She even said, "Don't call me a Nazi. I am not a Nazi. Don't you dare call me a Nazi." And he brings up the whole Nazi connection with Queen Mary and Prince Michael of Kent, or is it? Yeah, Prince Michael of Kent. I don't know who this man is. I don't know what his connection is. Whether I'm going to do a quick investigation and see if this man has a connection to Donald Trump in any way, shape, or form. But he's literally accusing the British royal family of being the reason why Jeffrey Epstein took children. He's saying that the British royal family are blackmailing. He said the Americans, Donald Trump, that it's the British royal family blackmailing Donald Trump. When we know the whole reason why they're trying to wipe out the British royal family is because of the fact that they are connected to the Anglo-Israelite bloodline who turned Jews into Christians. The King David bloodline. The bloodline that turned Jews into Christians, the ones who converted people to Christianity, which is what Christ was. Christ was the one that converted people and started a whole new religious movement called Christianity, with King Charles, his bloodline, being the head of the Christian church. It's everything I said. So then they bring them into like the World Health Organization and the World Economic Forum to strategically place them around all the people that were going to use his position as a monarch against him in order to tear him down. This is the kind of propaganda that even back in the day when I was a conspiracy theorist, before I became as became a conspiracy factualist. I never believed that the Queen was a lizard bitch, but I used to think, because that's what my ex used to call her, the lizard bitch. I apologise, trust me when I say I'm making up for that karma. But he used to say the lizard bitch was, used to do satanic rituals. She was always referred to as the lizard bitch. We always knew Queen a lizard bitch. And, like, trust me when I say I'm ashamed of that now, utterly ashamed. It makes me want to cry. She's, like, the fact that we're working together, I know that she forgives me, but her and I are working together to heal a lot of karmic ancestral wounds between our two bloodlines, because it was her people that invaded my people, and then we became New Zealand, and had the British flag. And many years ago, I used to be offended by that until I realised that if it wasn't for the British colonising New Zealand, my ancestors would have starved to death because of those bloody Vikings coming along and scaring the Māori off and eating all our food, the Celts and Vikings and that, coming and eating all our food. They killed off all our moas, our moa birds and that, and we only had seafood pretty much left. And then they came and they bought their potatoes and their cows and their sheep and all of that, and they taught us how to read and write and taught us how to farm. And New Zealand became famous for our farming and that. And if it wasn't for the colonisation of New Zealand, we would have died out. I understand that now, but back when I was under the control of my ex, it was a completely different story. And yeah, I used to think the same as everybody else, but as a scientist, I can't ignore facts. I can't ignore the truth. I can't ignore evidence, and I study stuff within an inch of its life. So when this man was saying, that they're Jews and that he did a deep dive into their bloodline and stuff like that, I mean, I'm technically, my genetic history is kind of implicating that I'm Jewish as well, that Māori people derive from certain tribes of from Israel and that, because we were immigrants. We migrated, and we left dots of ourselves all over the world. But he's literally saying it's the British royal family blackmailing the Americans and the Zionists to keep their mouths shut about their true connection to pedophilia and satanic devil worship and satanic rituals. And I've been saying they've been strategically placing the King and Prince William and the royal family around certain people, around certain conspiracies. So when they were getting ready to pounce, so to speak, to make the final kill, as in like when they were getting ready to line all their chess pieces up in order to take the British monarchy down, they'd have enough seeds planted where people would look at them and go, yeah, get rid of them. If they're pedophiles and doing Satan worship and that, you got to get rid of them. And it's exactly what I told the King was coming. This video this man makes is so offensive. I'm lost for words. I've tried to look up all his claims. I can't see. I haven't seen. There's British royals in the past who have said that they were the kings of Israel. I mean, technically they are. They're the King David bloodline. King David city and his castle and everything is in Israel. Technically they are the kings and queens of Israel. But they're the bloodline that converted to Christianity and became the heads of the Christian church. That's why he owns the right to the King James Bible and all that, because they are. And his bloodline is part of the Holy Trinity bloodline, where he's going to be supposed to be helping the Holy Trinity welcome the second coming of Christ and help birth the New Jerusalem. So they're not wrong, but that's not an. What's that got to do with pedophilia and Satan worship? They're not wrong. It's the whole reason why all the other. It's the reason why Israel is targeting the royal family, because they are. I can prove. We can prove that they have this connection to the Anglo-Israelite bloodline. But they've thrown in pedophilia and Satan worship into it. I'm telling you now, Donald Trump and Keir Starmer and that are pushing this narrative that our British royal family, they threaten me for posting lies, and yet they're encouraging people to post lies about the British royal family that are so slanderous and defamatory in a way that if the wrong, dumb, uneducated minds look at that shit, they're going to believe it and say, well, I don't want a paedophile king, get rid of him, blah, blah, blah. Turning on the king the way everyone's turning on Trump. It's like that fat little orange Satsuma has taken all the conspiracy stuff that's gone on about him and Jeffrey Epstein in order to cover his own ass and projected it all onto the king. He's getting blamed for everything, just like me, just like Vladimir Putin. We're getting blamed for everything, just so that they can cover their own asses. A narcissist always blames you for the things they do wrong. That's a known fact. A narcissist will always blame the victim for the things they're guilty of. I hold my hands up to my sins. I admit when I get stuff wrong. I admit when I've done stuff wrong. I speak the truth. I've had to work on myself like you wouldn't believe. I've had to mould and shape myself and tear myself down so many times to rebuild myself up, to pay off everything that I got wrong in my entire lifetime. Everything I said, everything I did, everything I thought, the way I acted, the things I've done, I've had to tear it all down and work my ass off to make amends with God and my ancestors and that to be forgiven for every sin that I know I've committed, everything I know I've had to hold my hands up to. I've had to be brutally honest with myself, as painful as what it is to look in the mirror and go, oh my God, you really did do that. Yes, you did say that. Yes, you did do that. And it's been hard and horrible because you don't want to have to admit that's who you really are. But I don't blame people for things that they haven't done. Because I'm not a narcissist. If I blame you for something, it's for something you did wrong. Because I speak the truth, and I speak the brutally honest truth. And Keir Starmer and Donald Trump and the World Economic Forum morons and all the people, because they're all on the Jeffrey Epstein list, they're all friends of Epstein, the coalition of Epsteiners, all of them, the presidents, the prime ministers, all of them, all have a connection to Jeffrey Epstein. They are all blaming their sins on the royal family. So I'll put links in the description box below, but I really, really hope the king sees this, because it's getting beyond a joke now. His prime minister, they're chipping away at the royal family's reputation. They're destroying the royal family's reputation in a way that they will never ever be able to recover from. If this video went like mega viral, everything, the way that the world turned on Prince Andrew, the way that the world turned on Donald Trump, they'll turn on the king, and he won't be able to recover from it. Because basically what this man is saying is that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein are saying the king made us do it because he was blackmailing us. The Queen made us do it because she was blackmailing us, when I've been able to prove 100% without a shadow of a doubt it's actually the other way round, because that big fat Satsuma admitted it. Q admitted with the October 15 Disney Sabrina stealing from the Queen's bank account, blackmailing the Queen. They admitted it. So I got there first. With my evidence, I got there first. And if anyone tries to say anything, I'll say, well, actually, it's the other way round, and here's my evidence, and it can't be denied. So I'll put links in the description box below. I just hope the King can hear me. I hope he's got to get rid of that man, and he's got to shut his parliament down, because they have turned the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing onto his family. It's quite ironic too, because remember during Trump's state visit, they put that photo up of Trump and Epstein on the wall of Windsor Castle, and then I had that dream where she stomped her foot and said no, and it was a projected image. Was that on purpose, to say that they were projecting the Donald Trump Jeffrey Epstein thing onto the royal family? Because remember, speaking of the occult, that could have been a transference of energy. I know the people that did it apparently got arrested, but it could have been an energy transference thing. Don't blame us, blame him. That could have been what that was, which is why she stomped her foot and said no. Because they are in a cult, and they would do that, and he does do that. Donald Trump does a lot of occult, symbolistic things that where he will 100% do energy transference. Because when they do sacrifices, and when they sacrifice the pure and innocent, they project their sins onto the pure and innocent, so that when the pure and innocent die, they take on the karma, or they take on the sin of the person committing the sacrifice. It's kind of the same thing. Whoever projected that image of Trump and Epstein onto Windsor Castle when Trump came to visit, could have been protesters. It could have very well been, but I'm just saying that I wouldn't put it past the cult of Epstein, the cult of the Illuminati, to have done that, to do an energy transference thing, to put the responsibility and blame onto King Charles. So I'll put links in the description box below. I can't believe it. Everything I said was going to happen is happening. And Donald Trump and the Americans are blaming the King and Queen Elizabeth II for the reason they're pedophiles. He really needs to dissolve his parliament. He needs to step away from the World Economic Forum. He needs to step away from the lot, because they're out to get him, and they're out to get him good. And if enough of the wrong-minded people believe this kind of nonsense, King Charles will be the last king. So, links in the description box. I can't believe it. I just hope the King hears this. He needs to wake up, and he needs to wake up fast. Ka kite anō.